I am really happy to be talking to you, Emily, today. Could you please introduce yourself and what do you do for business?
Okay, thank you so much for your time. My name is Emily Achieng, and I'm originally from Kenya. I'm currently based in South Korea. I have graduated with a bachelor in engineering, computer engineering, and just do backend software development, mainly with Python. Yeah, so that's pretty much about myself, and I'm happy to share my journey with everyone else. Thank you.
Why are you in South Korea?
I'm in South Korea because of studies. I came here as an undergrad, and it's a journey that began when I was back in Kenya. I thought like, oh, I really need to get somewhere where I could really learn on all the amazing technology. So I thought like South Korea would be a better place to be able to learn the technology that I always wanted, and because my passion was in computing. So that's just how I ended up in Korea as a student. Yeah.
I mean, how did you apply? How were you accepted? How did you succeed to be there?
Um, I can't say the journey was out of serendipity. Just like a happy accident. When I was back in Kenya, I happened to see an institution that was offering Korean language classes, and so I introduced some of my interests, and I decided to join the institution. And through that institution, I was able to get familiar with the Korean language, Korean cultures, and everything. And also, I did the Korean certification, and the Korean teacher was also recommending us to Korean universities. So I also thought, oh, maybe I should also try my luck. And also, I tried several schools, and I've eventually landed a scholarship to come to Korea as a student. Yeah,
Fantastic. Could you explain a
thank
little
you.
more on your experience with learning the Korean language?
I think the most difficult part was the beginning, just getting familiar with the alphabets, because the Korean alphabets are totally different, and for someone like me who had never seen that before, so I never even thought like I'll be able to do my major in fully instructed in Korean. So the most difficult part was just being able to read or get familiar with the alphabets. But after getting or being able to read and write on my own, so I I could do a lot on my by myself. So I think the most difficult part was just the beginning. But after just being able to do a lot by myself, I could just get along with the flow. Yeah.
So, like according to our experience, most of the African youth go
Mm.
to the West, go to America, go to Europe. How much do you recommend going to the East, going to Asia?
I think the culture is very amazing, uh, and it's very distinct, and there's just so much to learn from here. Yes, there are several other places to visit, but there's just that uniqueness in culture, and you have this uh, diverse knowledge and skills that you can get elsewhere, but this was very unique to me. Yeah, compared to if I had gone to like other countries, and also like it will involve like learning a new language and getting familiar with a lot of things that maybe I would never have had if I had visited somewhere else. Yeah. So I think it's that uniqueness was just something that was very important for me. Yeah.
Could you give examples of what uniqueness do you mean?
Like Korean, for instance, the Korean culture. When you're learning the language, there's always that formal language. Like we're always taught to you when you speak to the way you speak to your peers is different from the way you speak to elderly people. Yeah, the kind of the kind of difference, and also like yeah, yeah, just being in Korea also was a great opportunity for me to also get to learn they have preserved a lot of their cultures. Like when you visit here, you could see like all this there's so much history about like how they came to become what they are today. So like that kind of story, like that that how they just came to be how they are today is just like very unique, like very unique to me. And also like the other thing that was also that touched me a lot was also like the way Koreans are, they are very kind. And when I first came here, like all these people are there to assist you whenever you get lost, or like when you need something, like you could easily get along, like and I didn't have to worry about a lot of things. So like just their culture and willingness to help was also like one thing that also touched me a lot when I came here. So yeah, that was also, yeah, something that I would like to point out. Yeah.
Very interesting. Could you
Mm.
explain a little more about your experience with applying for scholarships?
Normally, like there are many scholarships. Some are offered by the government, some are offered by institutions, and there are others by foundations. So, like students have various ways to choose. But I had tried the government scholarship, but it was very competitive because they always pick only one or two people. So that's why I decided to go for applying directly to the school. But applying directly to the school is also like not easy because you have to like search on the internet and look at the school if it really offers the program that you want to take. And also like you have to write things like personal statements, put your documents together, and some schools also like ask for application fees. So it doesn't require, like if you're someone with a faint heart, you can easily give up, especially if you get a rejection. So like, but if you really want a scholarship, I encourage other people like just just look around the schools that apply that offer scholarships, and you can apply directly. And also there are other foundations that could be offering scholarships, yeah, aside from the government. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, let's go to your first being in Korea. Like, how does it feel to go to another country?
Um, yeah, of course it is. Um, okay, I'd say first of all, it was very empowering to me because it was the first time I had to move to a new continent. So, and it didn't come easy because I had to try so many times. So, and I never thought it was going to happen, but it eventually happened. So that was very empowering to me, and I thought, oh, so this can be possible. And also it's something that it means like you have to wear a thick skin because have to be responsible for yourself, and you have to make a lot of decisions on your own. So, and also it instills a lot of growth because now that you don't have your family around you, you are just there. So it makes you to grow in a way and also meet a lot of friends, meet new families. Yeah, and just experience that personal growth as an individual. Yeah.
You say it has been empowering. What do you mean?
Because coming to Korea, I never thought it was going to happen. Because I used to think studying abroad was only designed for maybe uh, distinct people or students who are very bright, but I was more of an average student. Like, so it was just a matter of trying. And when I eventually got a chance, I thought, oh, so anyone can just um, get any opportunity out there if they pursue it. Yeah, so like to me, it was an eye opener that if I really want something, I should definitely go for it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a big saying.
yeah,
So,
thank you.
yeah, how did you adjust to life in Korea?
Um, I think the most important was just language, getting familiar with the language. Um, the most difficult part is always the language barrier. Like if you don't understand what is happening around you. So, but because I was able to, I had like some foundational knowledge back at home, and when I came here, still I had to learn Korean uh, a lot by myself to be able to sit in a Korean class because my engineering classes were instructed in Korean. So that means I had to do a lot of learning and studying on my own to be able to familiarize myself with the language, and also like I had to make a lot of friends, build a lot of relationships to just be able to get through the moments and just to connect and be able to settle well. Yeah,
You said like you worked a lot on your own by yourself. How much
yeah.
personal effort does achieving something or learning a language require?
Um, I'd say like for for the time you're getting started, it might you might need a lot of effort from other people and assistance from other people. But like when you get to the intermediate level, that means like it's not just like the textbook work that you rely on. You might need to have like other additional things or do watching a lot of news, dramas, uh, and also me being an engineering student, I had to get familiar with technical terms, especially in Korean, to just be able to sit in a class and uh, just understand what the professors are saying. So that was not something that would have been taught to me by anyone, but I had to try and learn on my own just to get familiar with the scientific words, the technical terms, and it took some time to adjust, but I was able to get through it. Yeah,
Fantastic. The
yeah.
tech communities in Korea, how do they affect you?
They really helped me a lot because in school I was just studying, and I really needed a place where I could find other people who are excited about what they are doing and also get some inspiration from them. So apart from schoolwork, I will try to engage a lot in other tech communities, and it also really boosted my resume because whenever people look at my resume and see like, oh, I participated in a certain tech community, they'll really ask me a lot of questions about it, and some will even go on to say like, oh, I know someone from this tech community, and that will build some kind of trust. And also, like, as it was very important for me as an entry level graduate to become visible, because um like something that will complement experience. So like I would say like, oh, I participated in this and this. So like it was more of a balance, schoolwork and other uh, uh, activities that are outside classroom. Yeah.
So my question is, in these tech communities,
Mm.
is the level of language different? Is the level of knowledge that you have to show different? Do you get my question?
That depends, but like mostly I was attending communities that were geared towards inspiring uh, people to get into technology. So it was not more like for experts only. So like um, I will attend, and yes, some will some will involve like other expert knowledge, but like for example, there's one I went to when I had just begun my engineering classes, and it was more of a workshop. I went to learn some Python programming, and after some time, I eventually went back to the same workshop, but this time around, not as a workshop participant, but as a coach. So, like, it all depended on the level of my level of language and experience. But like some were conducted in Korean, some were conducted in English. But because I was already doing my engineering courses in Korean, so I could easily fit well here in them. Yeah.
So let me say the question in another way. Like to
Mm.
join these communities, you had to have a high level of the in the language itself, in the Korean language. You had to have a strong basis in your specialty in your field.
No, I didn't necessarily have to be good in Korean because a lot of people who attended those communities were they could speak English, and also like translation services were being offered, and most of the tech communities were aimed at people who are just getting started. Yes, so it was not meant for people who are more advanced. So they were aimed at people who were getting started, to inspire them to, and even people who had never thought about careers in technology, so to encourage them to join a tech career. So like it was not for special people or more advanced people. It was just to encourage people to get started out there. Yeah.
On a scale from 1 to 10, how
Mm.
much was the effect of the tech communities on your progress?
I think 8, because in school I didn't really know exactly like where my interests lied. But thanks to the tech community, I was able to really get um, people who were excited in what they were doing, and that really inspired me. And when I came back to school, I tried to look at things in a more different way, and that really gave me a clear sense of direction. And I was not just doing the classroom work. I was also trying to look at the industry and what are the relevant things that are needed in the market. So, and also like what are the things that I should learn on my own, like when I'm building my profile, like what are the things I should consider. So like in terms of career, the tech communities were very helpful to me. It's something that school would not have offered me. Yeah, in just giving me the direction in what I wanted in my career, and also like making me more visible out there. Yeah.
Could you explain a little more on how the community meeting happens? Like, what do you do in the meeting? Is it workshops? Is it discussions? Is it talk?
Yeah, like they're very kind, different kinds. Some can be hackathons where like we had to stay maybe for some hours building a prototype. Some were workshops where um, we could work on something simple for some few hours, like in a day. Some will just involve study groups where like we could meet and do a simple project with other, collaborate on a project. Some will involve just panel discussions where like people who are in that particular field will talk about their areas and just share their knowledges and experiences. Some are conferences that will bring people who are um, within a particular area and it just do to to share and they celebrate together. So like there are a variety of them, different kinds of them. Yeah.
What did you learn about the Korean people, the professionals, and the community?
Um, well, one thing I learned was okay. It was very okay in terms of like adapting the culture. One thing I learned was they call it in Korean pali pali, like getting things done faster. That was not something that I was used to. Like whenever you had when you're doing something, they'll say pali pali, like you have to do it faster. So that was something that it took me a lot of time to adjust, but I was able to. and and also time. They're very conscious of time. Like these was it also took me time to adjust. Like when when you have an appointment at a given time, you had to be there. Like and if you knew like you were going to be late even by 1 minute or 5 minutes, you had to just inform the other person. Like so, like they are very conscious of time and also that concept of getting things done faster. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, let's go to another area. Now you are graduating. How does it feel to graduate during COVID-19?
I graduated already, but it's it's a very difficult time because most of the companies have hiring freezes, and also like there's COVID-19, and there's a lot of anxiety around, worry, stress. But I was just able to program my mind to some positivity. I increased some dose of positivity, and through that, I could get through that stage of self-doubt, imposter syndrome, and yeah, just trying to be positive about everything because like it's not just me, it's a lot of people out there who are going through the same thing. So just the positive mind was able to get me through this. Yeah.
Great. How are
Mm.
you trying to develop your social media existence?
Mainly by LinkedIn. Um, LinkedIn has really helped me a lot in making myself visible. I mean, um, because I learned to play around with the algorithm. So LinkedIn so I want to encourage any young person out there who is trying to look for opportunities. Like LinkedIn is a very powerful uh, social site, and they don't need to even do much. It's just a matter of sparing even 5 minutes a day, just engaging in posts or comments, or just using your profile in any way. So LinkedIn has really been helpful in helping me. People reach out to me, and I just realized how powerful it is, and even LinkedIn is the reason why I'm having this interview today. So like, so people out there, as young people out there who are thinking of how to make themselves visible, they should really consider taking LinkedIn seriously and not overlook the features. And it's not just the premium feature, but of course premium features can have that added advantage of taking the LinkedIn courses, or having the email of contacting the people directly, but also just having a LinkedIn account, just and playing around with the algorithm. It makes you appear a lot more in the searches if you engage in posts. So people out there, please try and use LinkedIn a lot more than you use now, and it will open a lot of possibilities for you. Yeah.
Fantastic. Let's
Yeah.
more. Let's get this idea quite bigger. How
Mm.
has your job hunting experience been so far?
Of course, graduating in a pandemic was not easy, but also I realized I couldn't do it on my own, so I had to seek uh, help out there. I tried to network as much as possible. I really networked uh, between my period of graduation and now, and also like I I sought multiple mentors. I had a mentor who could review my resume. I had a mentor who uh, offered to just give me career advice. I had a mentor who offered some few hours every week to just um, do some pair programming with. So that was also very important in my growth. And also had a mentor who agreed to give me a referral one day. So, and the other thing was also the self-care strategy that I was able to impose on myself by um, just trying to take care of my mental state, and also like doing a lot of learning. In fact, the period after my graduation was a very productive period for me, because I really did a lot of things and projects, and I managed to build so much on my profile, and made a lot of connections. So I think it made me learn like it's very important to network out there, because it did work, and yeah, it's something that should not be overlooked.
You mentioned self-development. Could you explain
Yeah.
more about that?
For self-development, okay, I'll be very specific to my career. Um, my career is computer engineering, and also involves a bit of programming. So it is very difficult to convince people out there like, oh, you can program. So that means I had to do a lot of personal projects, and um, in we have a tool called GitHub. So I had to put my projects out there on GitHub to just show people like, oh, I can do this. I can build a website using this language. And the other thing was also like through my mentors. Whenever I had questions, I could easily reach out to either of them, yeah, to ask. questions. And also, like, I had someone who offered to give me a LinkedIn premium for a few months, like subscription for free. And through that, I was able to get through a lot of LinkedIn courses that made me to learn so much on my own. So it was just more of doing a lot of personal projects, and that brings me back to the point of making me more visible by just doing the projects and putting them on the internet out there, and being adding them to my resume. Yeah, and also like getting assistance from mentors whenever I wanted. Yeah, assistance. Yeah.
You also spoke about taking care of yourself, especially mentally. What do you mean?
Mm. A lot of self-development and also books, podcasts, um, videos, just um, hearing to like listening to people's stories out there, and um, listening to their journeys, and just having that feeling that, oh, this is something that is possible. So I always have some time to just get to hear like other people's stories, and that really made me feel better, because whenever I felt like, oh, I was on the verge of giving up, I could hear, or someone was able to get through really worse moments, and there they are telling their stories, how they were able to overcome. And that was something that really gave me so much strength. And I can give an example of one person. He had gave it's called Colin or Brady. He has a book called Impossible Fast. So he has a TED talk too. So I happened to come across his story too, and also his book. He was sharing about his story. One time he was um, badly burnt, like his legs were burnt so bad, and the doctors thought he will never walk. And while on his hospital bed, um, his mother came to visit him, and he was in a foreign land actually when that happened. So the mother asked him like, "Oh, what do you want to do when you get out of here?" So to him, it seemed like something that was not going to be possible. But then it took him some time to gather enough courage and say like, oh, when I get out of here, I want to compete in a triathlon. So like doing just some amazing things. And it seemed impossible at first, but in his state, the legs were burnt, and the doctors were just thinking, oh, he would never walk again. But eventually, years after, he was able to break world records. He was able to he was the first person to cross the Antarctica alone, and climbed mountain summits with the same legs, and that the doctors thought like he will never walk. So like through his stories is always telling people like, oh, it's so very important to set goals, however much it seems impossible. So those are the kind of things that, yeah, that's just an example of a story that really made me feel, oh, sure, like so many people have stories out there, like, and it's always a journey. It's just a matter of setting a goal and going, taking a step slowly by slowly. Yeah.
Awesome. What are your
Mm.
future plans?
Uh, of course, I will never stop learning. Yeah, so I still want to continue learning and advance in my field. And then I want to, most important thing why I'm doing this is to be able to give back. And I hope that one day I can be a sphere of influence, especially to young ladies out there who think, oh, they cannot do it. So I want to be able to inspire them that they can be themselves, they can become what they want. And those who want to pursue a science related course, they can do it too. So I just want to be able to advance and be able to inspire someone out there. Yeah.
What else would you like to say?
Um, yeah, about yeah, just like to tell everyone like don't be afraid to set that goal, however much impossible it may seem. And uh, if it seems like impossible, you can try to be consistent in working towards it. And that doesn't have to be like taking a long time every day. Even 5 minutes a day is enough. 2 minutes a day is enough. And just setting some time every day. The results may not come immediately, but after some time, you realize how much far you've come. So don't be afraid to set that goal and go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, it is midnight here in Cairo. What time is it at your side?
7:12 a.m.
So I would say, like, have a great morning, and it has been more than pleasure, and you are a trailblazer for every young African. I really appreciate
Thank
your help.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for reaching out to me too. And have a good night. Yeah.
Thank you.